Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to the Monday Night Community Race. I am Gambit017, and I'm joined today by Motos.
Hello, everyone.
And so we've got four great runners with us today on the restream. We've got Rex Roll in the upper left corner, Dusty Griff in the upper right, Flory14 in the lower right, and PK4787 in the lower left today for a very fun flag set, it looks like.
Indeed, we are using some of the 4.0 beta flags again, and with that comes the new game mode added, Fiends Percent, where in order to get the crystal, our runners are going to have to find and defeat Mylon, Mylon Z, Kanazo, Valvalis, Rubicant, and the Elements fight. So a lot of boss hunt. You can see also this new beta feature where you can see the flags on the main screen before you start the game.
Looks like we've got a ice blue Cecil start, looks like.
We got that Dark Knight Cecil start, and the only characters we're going to see tonight are Cecil, Kane, Rosa, Sid, Edge, and Fu. Those are the only characters activated.
So which part of this flag set are you looking forward to most, Motos?
Well, I gotta say, I have played with the Fiends Percent. It's a very fun play style, making sure that you have a decently long game, have to hunt down every single one of them. We do have some new flags for the treasures and shops. It's not necessarily new, but tweaked, we'll say. They're going to be able to find any item in chests, but they're weighted. So chests that are harder to get to or are gated in some way will have better items. And 10% of the chests are going to be empty tonight. So it's a little bit different treasure routing. Things like the Barren Town treasures and the Damsian Armory are not nearly as, we'll say, valuable as they were in the Highway to the Zenith Zone.
And I'm looking forward to using the alternate gauntlet flag, which could really bring up some very fun fights depending on where we find the full gauntlet tonight.
Hey, if you're going to have to fight the longest boss fight in the game, it may as well be interesting, right? Looks like we're waiting for the last couple of ready-ups here, but while we're waiting on that, we should mention there are still some flags that you're familiar with. We have the random Mega Nuke for Wyvern, so no Mega Nuke surprises. The no free characters is on. That's pretty standard at this point. And we do have the Warp Glitch on, so we may see some skips of the Sealed Cave.
Which would be interesting, especially if Sealed Cave ends up holding one of the Fiends, what we're looking for. So might have some people go Dwarf Castle, use Warp Glitch, and then one of our bosses be down Luca, they have to dive it anyway.
Yeah, and the fact that they have to hunt the Elements bosses means your standard path that a lot of players would have used before the beta is kind of bunk, because if you skip spots, you may be skipping the boss you need. It's not just key items you're worried about now, it's also the boss locations that don't even have key items. So it's a whole different thought process that our players are now getting used to.
And we could have a nice, quick, easy seed where Elements is at Themis, Ruby's at Antlion, and we find everybody quick and easy, or they might be hunting the Giant to find the Element spot.
Yeah, I mean, I have played these flags a couple of times now, and you can get rather unlucky and be down to just a couple of spots to get that last boss. And in addition, even once they find them all, they still have to be prepared for Zeromus, because in the beta, you can decide whether you want the game to end when all objectives are complete, or if you want to receive the crystal when all objectives are complete. And tonight, we're going to get the crystal, so we still have to be ready to fight Zeromus.
And to answer kind of Nerdy Housewife's question in chat, Elements is included in the Fiends. You've got Mylon, Mylon Z, Valvalis, Canazo, Rubicante, and then the elements together. Those all are the 6 fiends that we're after tonight to find the crystal.
Yeah, and to boot, they're not going to have any super powerful items either because we have the shops on the standard weighted mode. So the better items are going to be kind of tucked away either underground or on the moon. And there's no apples or soma drops in shops either. So even if you had the money, it's not going to help you. No cheating with that foo.
So it looks like we're getting ready to get started here in just a moment.
And there we go. We are using standard key item flags, or pretty standard at this point, where the summon monster quests and the moon bosses could have key items. So they'll be hunting for bosses anyways, so it's kind of this, that, or the other. But just to let you know, it's kind of you get it a double whammy now because you're looking for both bosses and key items.
Yep, and we've got the double Cecil start and a power shirt. So it's not going to really help us too much right now, but we'll see how it goes. See who decides to go where first.
You know, depending on the early bosses that show up, a double Dark Knight start can be a little rude.
And for anyone who's wanting to look at the objectives, you can see them kind of fly by on the screen of everybody as they go through them.
Yeah, I forget what we've nicknamed that guy, if he's Objective Way or what, but we can definitely see
sure
that
it's Objective Way.
Objective Way with these pain men. Yeah, Ordeals is definitely going to be in the cards tonight.
Valvalis, the restreamer, reminded us it's actually Guiding Way is what it's called.
Oh heck, we see the Mist Dragon there in Baron Inn as well. That's low-hanging fruit.
Well, we see if anyone actually goes after him because the free key item flag is actually off. So Demas isn't going to give us anything. Edward and Troya will.
A little bit of a fake out there. That is usually when we have the no free lunch flag, it's both. But tonight it's just the characters are not free.
I see PK4787 going straight to Troya, talking to Edward, going to find himself an Earth Crystal. Well, that's a little bit helpful.
2 characters, 2 bosses, and a key item check. Pretty big value in this game mode.
Not to mention, he's already right there. Might as well go check the treasury.
Yeah, and these items are gated, so they are going to be a higher weight than the Baron and Damsian armories. Right off the bat, we see some J items and a crystal. So, yeah, pretty nice. Oh, White Lance. If we see Kane, that's going to be useful as well.
White and Dragon Lance, a couple of apples I saw in there, which will be helpful for Fu. It's like Rexroll has found the Dark Elf. I don't remember exactly where he was. I was going to say he was in the Mist Cave.
Yeah, and that normally with no free key item on, we would see a Mist Dragon hunt, but now we will see Elements hunt because if one of them's in these early spots, that's just another easy boss out of the way that you needed. We see Flurry heading for the character on Mount Hobbs. Let's see. Looks like it's Rosa. That's definitely going to be a must-have.
And guarded by King Queen Eblon, which is a pretty free fight, especially early on, which will be very helpful.
I don't think King Eblin is going to be able to send them all down to the Hades tonight.
In the meantime, we have Rex and Dusty going through the Troya Treasury, and PK4787 heading through Damsian.
Yeah, we can see here in Damsian relatively worse treasure, but you know, there's still a little bit to be found here. It's not all bad.
I think the biggest thing I saw from that was the Blizzard Spear, which got another lance for Kane.
Flurry now through this fight gonna collect the Rosa. Great color scheme on that Rosa, by the way.
And we'll see if anyone else heads straight there. Looks like PK4787 might be checking who the boss is in the Watery Pass.
Oh, interesting. We have one of the required bosses already found.
Mylon and friends taking a bath.
Now, we may have seen a reset there, but that doesn't mean we're not going to see that fight done. Just knowing that it's there is good knowledge. I think it's going to come back when that boss is able to be steamrolled, basically.
Yeah, I don't think two Dark Knight Cecils is going to get through that by themselves, but pick up the Rosa, get a little bit of Eristor, I think then they might be able to go back and take care of it.
Yeah, it's not that it would be a difficult fight at that location, it's just going to take a long time without some better damage.
In the meantime, Dusty picks up their Rosa, and we've got Flurry and Rex Roll down in the Antlion Cave, heading down to see who's down there.
Looks like all of our runners are going to converge here. Everybody picking up Rosa, probably everybody going to Antlion Cave as well. Flurry's about to show us the boss of the Antlion Cave, which happens to be... Ooh, it's a Golbez.
Golbez, Trollbez. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, that 1000 HP is a little oopsie with this party so far. No Star Veils in sight. Yikes.
So we saw Flurry reset. Let's see if Rex ends up doing the same thing. Yeah, that was an immediate reset as soon as we saw who it was.
Yeah, I think that's the good play, because even if you could defeat it, it's going to be like a very close thing and probably some frustrating time loss.
So if you don't want the runners, where do you go from here? Now you got Golbez guarding Antlion. You've got one of your fiends down in the Watery Pass, and you've got Dark Elf in the Mist Cave.
Honestly, in this situation, I'm still going traditional. I head to Fugul, see what's there. Maybe I can get a key item, get some levels, and then kind of find out what I've got at my disposal after that.
It looks like Flurry's going around doing shopping percent, same with Dusty, just trying to see what other items they can find, anything they can find to help.
Yeah, we sell Cure 3s in Baron. That's pretty much the highest power shop item we've found so far. Yeah, Flurry's looking for something. He's looking for something that'll help him here because it's there's not there's the Star Veils though, so there we go.
I gotta get a couple of those and that to make Golbez at least easier.
Yeah, PK is trying Golbez here. I don't think PK is the person who picked up the Star Veils yet. So we'll see how this goes.
In the meantime, Flurry's going into Fabul. We'll see if he's just checking the shops or if he's actually going to check the boss as well. And Rex is actually going to go loot West Tops. So we'll see if there's anything nice over there.
Yeah, this is either going to be really clutch or really heartbreaking. It looks like PK may be able to outspeed Golbez here and not go down. I think he's got it.
He's got it. That was an amazing play by PK4787. And sorry, I just noticed Flurry taking on Wyvern at Fabul, and Wyvern used Big Wave as his starting attack.
Oof, just a package from that Golbez, though.
Well, at this point, it could be a boss check. Maybe one of the fiends is hiding behind it.
Yeah, that's true, and the character wouldn't be unwelcome right now, especially since we know that the character pool here includes some heavy hitters still.
And Flurry is through Wyvern at Bull. Rexroll is about to begin starting the fight with Wyvern.
Ooh, we get the Twin Harp from Fabul. That's a nice get.
Music is always appreciated by the audience.
Now, audience members, show us your appreciation in chat for music. You should know that in the beta 4.0 flags, with custom objectives, you can now have hashtag the dream whenever you want by requiring music.
So Dusty manages to get through the Golbez fight. Rexroll looks like he might have some trouble with Wyvern, starting to get those nukes off.
So if you ever want to make sure you need music in your seed, just require killing the Dark Elf position, and there you go. You have to do music now.
And thank you to Groundflyer for the Tier 2 sub for 12 months.
Yeehaw indeed. I do think Rex is going to make it through this Wyvern fight. The speed is such that he's able to outspeed and revive his people. So it might just take a little longer, but he's going to make it. Flurry onto Golbez, about to find that package, which can either be a blessing or a curse here. Depends on what's all the way through the cutscene. The downside of shopping percent here, we see it in Dusty's screen. Just inventory management is notoriously difficult in Final Fantasy IV, which a lot of our runners have discovered over time.
Oh yeah, the inventory boss is always the worst final boss in this game.
Especially when we're handing out treasure with these treasure flags.
So Rex manages to get through the Wyvern. We'll pick up his Twin Heart. Meanwhile, Flurry's still working through Golbez, and PK4787 had to reset out of Wyvern. So we'll see if they make another attempt at it or if they move on.
Chat is joking about some of our community memes. All I'm saying is, Boardface, where's the required job dwarf? You know. Yeah, Flurry's actually not even wasting the the Star Veils, just letting Rosa straight up aim Golbez to death.
And it worked for him. He got through it.
Interesting to see two of the trolliest bosses in the game so early on.
I'm sure the runners are probably happy to see them here as opposed to seeing them later on the moon or in the giant or somewhere there when they're trying to hunt other bosses.
Yeah, so keep in mind, because of the boss hunt nature of this, whether we get a hook seed or a magma key seed, it's still possible to have one of the bosses you need in the hook. So it could be possible that the hook is playing you for a fool. You know, you could use the magma key, go underground, and two of the bosses you need could be still lurking in Upper Babel.
All right, so it looks like we've got Rex and Dusty going around. Well, Dusty's about to do our loot for bull. Rex is doing shopping percent. PK4787 making another attempt on that Wyvern. And Flurry is heading somewhere.
Hold up, wait, did Flurry not get the free key item yet?
I don't think Flurry did.
He's heading to the armory, so I sure hope. Well, not to the big armory room though, huh? Has he forgotten there's a free key item here?
Once he goes and talks to Edward and gets the Earth Crystal.
Yeah, I mean, our players play with no free key items so often that it might be an easily overlooked flag. Oh no, there he goes.
I said Rex has found Cure 2s in Kaipo, so those will be helpful early on. A lot cheaper than the Cure 3s that we found in Baron.
Yeah, that's the thing. Money's a big deal, especially if you're stocking up on some of the more powerful items in this game. And we've kind of tried, the developers have tried to kind of make it so that you can't buy your way out of a situation unless you've been looting a lot. So it's kind of a pros and cons. Like you can loot more and take more time and have more access to shop items, or you can save time and just kind of really ration your shop amounts.
Thank you so much, Scala, for the raid and for the sub. We appreciate it. And all these wonderful palettes you see, the ice blue Cecil, the Rosa, all done by our wonderful Scala Kitty. And Dusty has found Rubicante up on Ordeals.
Well, this is lucky. All of our players are going to come here anyways, so it's handy that one of the bosses they need is here. So Rex is now going to take down regular Mylon now that we got a little bit more firepower. Chat, let's have an informal poll here. Is it Rubicante or Rubicant?
While we wait for those responses, we find yet another one that we need to defeat in Elements on the backside of Ordeals.
Wow, a twofer here. So that's already 3 of the bosses we need that we've seen.
So now who's hoping for either Valvalis or Canazo in the Crystal Room, just to make it 3 for 3 on Ordeals?
That would be so unlikely, but so epic.
And PK4787, I believe, is at Baron Inn, took out the Demus and found Odin as the second boss there.
This can be tough. That spot has a decent amount of HP and is pretty fast too, so...
And yet another lance for Kane from Ordeals, the white lance.
So much equipment for Kane, yet no Kane to be seen.
And PK4787 got through that Odin, ends up with the Magma Key. So that's going to be underground access, but as you were talking about earlier, could have a boss hiding behind the hook.
I'm hoping and waiting for the hook troll with required bosses in Upper Babel. Ah, get cooped. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite lines.
Very quick work of the plague.
Liquid hot magma.
So it looks like Flurry has just started the Rubicante spot, and Rexroll will be there very shortly.
Now I'm kind of hoping for either the Upper Babel troll or some Haunted Moon action with Valvalis and Canazo on the moon. Pretty much the 2 most troublesome elements still left.
Well, I'm kind of hoping one of them ends up being the second boss in the Giant, just to force people to go through there.
Ouch, PK with the Thor rage that didn't do anything to Mylon and company here. Pepita, no. Edward, there's no Edward tonight. Nada.
Now, for our 6 characters we can find are Cecil, Kane, Rosa, Sid, Edge, and Fu. And that's it.
Well, now that we know that all of our runners are going to Ordeals, and then probably most of them will at least try Baron Inn, we will have everyone funnel towards Magma Key now.
I'm curious if anyone's going to head up Zot and check that Earth Crystal before they go underground.
To be honest, I would be tempted to do it. 2 characters, plus 2 bosses, plus a key item. It's really good value right now.
Kiku, the boss in the demon spot was Dark Elf.
PK dropping the key, wasting no time getting underground.
See, Rex defeats Rubicante, Flurry defeats Elements, Dusty taking on Odin and Baron Inn.
Yeah, it just goes to show, you can see already that a lot of the decision making is a little bit different than we might have seen in the past, just because you have different things you're worried about as far as what you need to prepare for and what is a good check versus not as good of a check.
I feel a little bad for PK knowing that 2 bosses he needs are up on ordeals and he hasn't been up there yet, but he is the first of the runners underground, at least for featured runners.
I gotta think that he's probably not actually gonna fight any bosses down here. He may be searching for the free key items and the shops only and then go back up, because I can't imagine he wants to fight anything and get the EXP amounts that are available underground on his Dark Knight Cecils, which are going to get their levels reset.
Airport Design Engineer is our 10th draw dwarf today. It's PK4787, being a fan of the people, letting us see it.
PK, the first to our hearts with that check.
And Flurry got the empty text box glitch for his tele-learning media.
Very appropriate, since Tele does not exist tonight.
To answer Scala's question, we have not heard Twin Harp yet in this seed. We see Dusty going straight into Agart, going to do some shopping and probably drop the key, get underground.
Now that we're underground, you're going to start to see the treasure should be a little bit better, because they are gated behind the magma key, even the ones hanging out just in town, not behind any bosses. Nothing good so far, but there's always a chance something great will pop up. Everything is available. It's just weighted chests.
And PK giving us our first peek at the free chest in the Feymarch, and it is the Darkness Crystal. So this seed is now wide open.
Yeah, this is huge, because not only the Darkness Crystal, of course, allows access to the Giant of Babel and the Moon, which has all of the Moon boss checks and the Giant of Babel boss checks, plus the Moon bosses could have key items. So that opens up a heck of a lot of value tonight.
And he's also found hourglasses down in the Feymarch shop, which those are a rarity in these flag sets.
Yeah, a lot of the retooling of the shop and treasure chest flags were in order to kind of reduce access to the more powerful J items, just to kind of shake up the meta a little bit, because it's been found, hourglasses especially are so powerful that they can kind of trivialize a lot of fights.
You see Dusty working on scrambling some eggs, trying to get a couple levels for his Roses and Cecils. Flurry just made it through Odin. And PK4787 going to check the bosses in the Fame Arch.
Duma's power box is broken for.
I really do like this play from Dusty because he doesn't have to grind all the way. He just has to grind enough to let him get through some bosses easier, because odds are, with as many checks as they're going to have to do to find all the bosses, their levels are going to be more than Zeromus ready. So there's no need to do a big grind. Just do a little one so that you can steamroll stuff later.
And they're going to need those levels, because we have seen Kanazo down in the Leviathan spot.
Oh, that's a big yikes. Yeah, I'm sure that most of our community members are aware now, but Kanazo is considered one of the most dangerous bosses in a late game position, thanks to the fact that his main move deals damage based on his total HP. So high HP positions are going to be really hard to make work, and your defense, your equipment doesn't matter. It's still going to, even an adamant armor doesn't save you.
So he's going to hit hard, and in that spot hit fast as well. So looks like Flurry's going to give us our first taste of music tonight, heading down to Cave Magnus.
Yeah, so we are still looking then for Valvolus and Mylon Z are the only two bosses that are at large, but there's a heck of a lot of boss spots left to check for those two. The less we have on the list, the more, the less likely it's going to be where our players are checking.
PK4787 went back up, spying the Lunar Whale. I don't know if they're going to make the moon play now, or they might just be going up to check the shop. It looks like Dusty is also heading up towards the Cave Magnus to give us some music.
Stylish kamikaze there to make the fight end early from Flurry. That's a pro level strat.
As chat's pointing out, it's the town music from FF6 tonight. It's our heart music. It's very well done.
A little bit of a palette swap here on the Dark Elf.
In the meantime, PK4787 did just check the Hummingway shop that's coming back to Earth. And Rex Roll is currently in Trumra, looting their treasury.
With that mini level grind, Dusty's going to get through this fight a little faster than Flurry. So we might see a little bit of a leapfrog here. Oh, and Key. Dusty has Berserk already.
Looks like PK4787 is finally making the climb upward deals. He's going to be very happy getting his Paladin Cecils after finding a Fusoya as the character up on the moon. I kind of miss that listening to the Twin Heart music.
Hey, I think that's time well spent getting that Fusoya.
Now we see his Zeus Gauntlet was the prize for defeating Twin Heart. Not necessarily progress, but will be very helpful for your Cecil.
And since we will be deliberately fighting bosses in this game mode, Fusoya is going to be full power pretty quick here.
That's fortunate. Fusoya already knows Ice 3 going against Rubicante. That's very fortunate.
We finally see, looks like Zot is the direction of choice for both Dusty and Flurry now. Looks like these two are pretty much on the same path now.
Yeah, almost step for step together, just about maybe 30 seconds apart.
Of course, already knowing that Fu is hiding on the moon, I can't say that Kane would be bad at this point, but Kane or Edge, I kind of like that Fu better. I think PK's got the best party right now.
And Dusty's grind's about to pay off for him, as DKC is the boss here, the first boss in the Tower of Zot. But still, both of them look like they'll get through it pretty well.
Yeah, we do have we don't have any of the safety checks off, so they are going to get to hear Pain Man's Pain Manifesto and get the free win here by simply surviving and not attacking. Justice is not the only right in this world. Someday you will see.
Meanwhile, Rex is scrambling up an almond real fast, and PK4787 has completed their deals. Is about to take on Plague, I believe, if I remember the boss that was there. And we see we're going to have Karate Man as the second boss in Dwarf Castle, and Kane is the first character here at Zot.
Bacon Pie asking in chat, what's the worst possible Dark Knight Cecil location? It would be any location with high HP and high attack power, which would basically be any of the endgame spots, especially if you have the safety flags turned off, Because if you have to actually fight him and take those hits every turn, it can be nasty.
And so
Yeah,
we
I mean,
found both Kane and Edge as our two characters up in Zot.
Yeah, I mean, if I saw a Dark Knight Cecil with no free bosses on at Elements, I would just reset, honestly.
I'd hope it's not a giant percent seed, because that ain't gonna happen.
Now, the thing that Dusty and Flurry are going to have going for them with this party is that Zeromus will be a very, very fast fight. Being able to use quadruple berserkers is very, very nice. As long as we find some Bacchus wines, of course.
I believe we
that's
saw
the only way
Bacchus
to kinda
wines
make that
earlier.
the
I
best.
just don't remember where. In the meantime, Rex is over in Dwarf Castle, I believe, taking on the D-Lenders in the first spot.
D-Learners are a pretty nice boss to see here, especially since we already know we have access to Cure 3s in the above ground shops. So if you can't beat them, then just go up, grab some Cure 3s, and just destroy them.
And you see, here's where Dusty's mini grind kind of pays off. He does leapfrog Flurry here in the CPU fight. We got FF4FE heading down Cave Bahamut. Going to give us our first look at the boss down there.
If a PK looted, there was at least one Siren in the Troya Armory, so if you need a quick level, some dragons up here is not a bad choice too. There we go, boom.
And he found the hourglasses in Fame March and just tossed an hourglass and go to town.
Yeah, in my opinion, if you only have one Siren to use, this is the absolute best spot to use it.
Meanwhile, Rex has easily gotten through Karate Man in Dwarf Castle. Got another Cecil for his troubles. I just realized he's doing it without anyone who can cast Warp, so he's not going to be able to take advantage of the Warp glitch to get the item.
Yeah, only PK has somebody with Warp right now. Of course, that could be another pitfall. You use the Warp glitch, you get the item, you forget Sealed Cave boss is still there. If it's a boss you need, you kind of run around like, what did I miss? Oh yeah, I missed Sealed Cave.
I wonder if that's going through Rex's head as he decided to go ahead and do it now, saying, oh, I don't need a Warp glitch, I'm going to go check the boss anyway.
Tower Key, not a bad find though. Because remember, they need bosses, and Tower Key not only gets you a key item, but a boss as well.
So Dusty up on the moon, picking up his Fusoya.
PK noping out of Cave Bahamut. That's a Baigan at Bahamut.
I do not blame him at all for noping out of that.
That's actually a really tough spot for Baigen as well. That's a little bit of bad luck, especially because that could be a key item they need there. Because remember, although we only need the objectives to get the crystal, the bosses we need could be behind key items. So we might need the Baron key to get to a boss that we need. And you know, if you're missing a key item and a boss, now you don't know which direction to go.
It looks like Rex is going to take that tower key and climb the tower right away. In the meantime, everybody else is kind of picking up where they left off. PK taking on the Minelon and friends in the Watery Pass. Dusty heading towards Dwarf Castle, and Flurry finally getting underground access.
Yeah, you know, usually I would say whoever gets underground first is definitely in a strong position, but under this flag set, there's really no telling. I mean, it could be the last person underground who happens to be stronger, have checked different things. Bacon pie,
pies, yeah, you do need to kill both Minelon and Minelon Z. It looks like both Flurry and Dusty decided to go into Dwarf Castle, take on the bosses there. Dusty's going to have the advantage, again, having someone who can cast Warp. We'll see if they take advantage of that.
Yeah, and both of them have a big level advantage on the other two, so they're going to kind of steamroll through these bosses pretty quickly.
And we have the alternate gauntlet on Rex roll screen at the top of tower.
Feast your eyes on these little before seen enemies in Free Enterprise. This is going to be a long fight because these are not even getting one shot unless it's the correct Cecil.
Oh, this single alert. I wonder if we'll get a chance to see what it spawns or if we'll be able to one-shot it.
This is so interesting to see an alert as part of the gauntlet. Hey man,
I'll completely admit I was hoping for an alternate gauntlet somewhere on the moon, but this is still nice.
Hey, I put extra enemies in your multi-enemy fight, man. Dusty Griff straight up nuking Karate Man while Flurry kind of is using whatever tools are available on these lunar dragons, even using the flame spell.
PK actually took his Fu and nuked Dark Knight Cecil.
Oh my goodness, some tofus. Feast your eyes on that palette swap, everybody.
In the meantime, Flurry has managed to turn the D-Lunar into the Lunar Toad and will be very shortly dispatching of said Toad.
Now I've lost track. I don't know which fight of the Gauntlet Rex is on.
I believe we're on fight number 5, if I'm not mistaken. And the key item in Luca Cave was just a full moon, so no real reason to go down there except for the boss. And Rex ends up with the hook from the top of the tower. So it's another 2 boss checks.
Yeah, hook is still huge, even though we're already underground, because you need it to turn in the rat tail and pink tail, which could have an item we need and adamant armor, respectively. And like you said, it's 2 potential boss checks, even though we don't have to go there. And I mean, they could go get the character in Cave Evelyn as well. I don't think anybody's hurting for characters now, though.
Hold on.
So Rex finding the ant lion as the boss in the tower key super cannon room.
Just a big old bug firing a giant cannon.
Wait, I think I've seen that movie.
You can't see in the ground.
Ooh, a cheeky quake on CPU there from PK. Manages to finish off of the CPU before the globes start, though. Nice. I don't know if PK knew that it was about to die or was just kind of YOLOing it, but good work either way.
Sometimes you just gotta cast Quake and hope for the best.
We're now going to get to see what key item the cannon room actually held. We did see Luca Key for PK, so if that boss needs to be checked.
And it is a pass. That'll be helpful for the runners if the moon is completely haunted.
Yeah, I mean, the statistics here are that at least one of the bosses they need will be in the moon. So pass is definitely holding great value still. Remember, they get the crystal when they complete all the objectives, but then they still have to go to Zeromus and kill him. A lot of players will even exit out of the lunar subterrane and come back to Earth before they fight Zeromus, even if they don't have to, simply because if you wipe, it's much faster to get back in the fight if you are outside Troya instead of down in the lunar subterrane.
And I noticed if you looked at the boss that the gauntlet was sending through the hook route, it was a purple robe, which more likely going to be Mylon Z. So the hook route is going to be required.
And that's knowledge that our players can use who have done that. So they know and the others don't.
Well, that'll be everybody but PK4787 at this point. When they're about to complete Dwarf Castle, pick up their tower key, I imagine that's the next place they'll go.
I'm so glad that the hook actually held one of the bosses. I love it. Just do both routes, everyone. No problem. Of course, by the time our players get to the hook bosses, they're going to be pretty trivial, which usually hook seeds can be kind of scary.
So at this point, the only boss we have not seen is Valvulus. So, any guesses where she might be hiding this seed?
Here's another name poll, chat. Is it Valvulus or Barbaretia?
You see, Rex just got the terrible news about Kanazo at Leviathan. Just kind of standing there debating if he wants to try it now or try something else.
I love the fact that our restreamer, whose handle is Valvalis Skunk, says Valvalis' name is Barbaricia. By the way, while we're waiting on all these players to get through their boss battles that we have seen, let's go ahead and give a big thanks to Item Tracker, Smapedy tonight, and Restreamer, Valvalis Skunk. Without those two handling things behind the scenes, we wouldn't be able to bring you the race and be able to show you what's going on. Also, always remember, we have 4 of the players here as our featured runners, but there are other community runners also racing this same race as we speak.
And Rex has decided to go ahead and take on Kanazo right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, that water was gathered pretty quickly.
The question comes, did he get the lid off before the wave got queued?
Oh, I was holding my breath there for a minute.
Yeah, so we see Flurry leaving the Tower of Babel as PK4787 enters it. And Dusty has actually already gone underground, finds sirens in the Evelyn shop.
Dusty's got eyes on the prize here too in the Eblin cave, assumedly going to go into Upper Zot and get rid of the Mylon Z.
In the meantime, Flurry looks like they're about to do the same thing, heading straight into Cave Eblin.
While we're waiting to see what happens here, chat, another name. Is it Troya or Toroya? Think about it. Well, here's another foo. That's interesting.
So at this point, does Dusty take the second foo?
At this point, if I'm Dusty, wow. Wow, that was not what I expected.
Getting rid of Rosa. That is a bold move. Meanwhile, Rex with Battle Speed 6 is slowly but surely getting through Kanazo, not really having too big a problem with it.
Yeah, he is doing marvelously timing these lightning items onto Kanazo, but the damage, this spot has a lot of HP. Although the fight gets safer as it goes on, but still, it's a lot of time spent is the problem.
So Dusty finding the dolls, Calbrina, it's the first spot of the King Queen Eblet spot. It should go down pretty quickly with a single quake. And Rex has Kanazo hiding in the shell.
I gotta give props because I didn't think Rex had the tools to get this fight done. It may have taken a bit, but bravo.
As you see Dusty taking on Mylon Z in that second, the Rubicante spot, should make short work of it with the levels he has.
And this is where our runners are going to start to have their minds start racing, because Dusty at least already knows where everything is except Valvolus. So now you're wondering, okay, where can I go that has the most boss checks? How do I get through it? Am I prepared for those spots? You know, is everybody else going to go there? Can I maybe get ahead by going somewhere else that's a little less probable, but could be a good gamble? It's just one of those.
So Rex gets through, Kanazo gets the spoon for his troubles, but the bigger thing is defeating the boss in that case.
Yeah, now we see, because of the level advantage that Flurry and Dusty have, once they go down to fight Kanazo, that's going to be a much faster and safer fight. Oh yeah, and because they're forced to kill the boss, they have to kind of go through and come out the bottom here, get the other airship.
I think it's actually faster if you have to kill the bosses to get the airship than it is to go back and try to walk it out.
Interesting play here on Octomam for Rex. The only thing he'd still be fishing for now is the Baron key, well, or the Luca key, because he doesn't know that it's available elsewhere. So this is basically him gambling that one of the bosses he needs will be in Baron Castle.
Could also be looking for the pan. We have not seen anyone at all check Underground for Gang or check Sheila at all.
Yeah, and that's another example. You would never in a million years before these beta flags have 4 players underground and nobody check the Sylph Cave.
Rex looks to be putting up some decent damage against Octomam, getting the tentacles down, which slows Octomam down. Should be able to get through this fight pretty easily.
I think PK is now going to go for the Kanazo fight as well.
Dusty, in the meantime, making use of the sirens he picked up in Cave Evelyn in the grind on some King Ryus.
I see I created a monster in chat with the names, pronunciation, and mistranslations subject. Dusty's not messing around. He's going for all the levels he's gonna need to blitz through all the rest of the bosses.
I'm sure he's gonna grind here and then immediately start checking moon bosses and see if we can find Val.
Octo Mammoth. It makes me think of something like when they named Donkey Kong, they just thought it would be like a big scary monkey. That's what Kong meant. But I think that's a mistranslation the other way.
For a second, I thought Dusty was going to make an attempt at that Vigan, but instead exits back out. And Rex does find the pan from Octoman, so we'll see if they check Sheila to see if there's any good items there.
Yeah, normally we'd be extremely happy to get this double check without having to double dip Fabul, but considering that the only items that could actually get something that our players need are the Baron key and the Luca key, and that's if the boss they want is there, it significantly reduces the value. Not enough that I think Rex is making a bad choice here, but it is less value than it would normally be.
I mean, if you end up finding something like the Pintail along the way, that gives you an adamant armor, which will definitely help you get through the rest of the bosses we need to get through.
Dusty's diving here. We're going to see the left-hand boss on the moon.
So the Sills were holding on to a Dragoon Spear, which would be great if we had a cane. And that is not the correct dragon for the spot.
No, and unfortunately, though, Dusty still has to fight it, even though it's not a boss he needs, because there's still the risk that Baron Key is necessary.
So PK has got Kanazo hiding in the shell and takes him out. Flurry saying no to the bosses down there, and I don't think he's looking forward to try to take it down.
Bahamut going down here. Dusty receiving. Oh, just the crystal bangle. Womp womp. Not bad
what
loot.
we're looking for.
I actually have never seen someone run out from the left side boss. Usually you see an exit followed by a re-entry. It's a little bit strange. I wonder if Dusty is thinking that it is actually faster if you don't have to heal or save, so.
Well, I know most people usually go from the bottom up, so Pale Dim Spot's the last spot you're checking. And I saw Rexroll turn into Pan, got a Samurai Bow. I didn't see what the first item was. Looks like it was a Sand Ruby.
Yeah, we already know Hook is required, so Rat Tail being required as well would be a nice surprise.
Looks like Rex is going to head to Cave Magnus. They haven't checked the Twin Harp yet. We know it's nothing good, but at least we get an encore of music.
Nice little Baron guards here. Give Dusty a little break.
I see he's trying to life glitch him, but Fu is taking forever to cast Fatal.
That was almost the coveted triple life glitch. I don't want even to think the gross levels of EXP he could have gotten if he'd actually gotten that pulled off. Oh, there's a pigtail.
Oh, that's going to be the adamant armor.
Yeah, I think that's definitely still worth the turn in, even with Dusty's level advantage.
And Flurry is through Kanazo down to Feymarch, so everyone I believe on screen has defeated Kanazo at this point. I take that back. Dusty hasn't gone down there and done it yet, has he?
I don't think Dusty knows Kanazo's down there, so he's just waiting until he can just blow through. But no, to answer the question, Get Cooped, we have not been to Giant yet. We have not even been in to check the first boss, much less the second boss. I gotta expect the Giant will be the last place our players check, because if it's there, then they're just gonna have to sink the time.
Dusty making short work of the Maggot Sisters of the Plague spot.
Kind of nerdy housewife. I am also, if it were the package boss, that would be so ultimate, because everyone has had the package for quite a while, or almost everyone has had the package for quite a while. So it would be hilarious if Alice was just sitting there in Kaipo Inn at a really easy spot.
And Dusty gets the adamant from the Plague spot, which is a Fortune Crystal mode. We'd be halfway to go mode, but unfortunately completely worthless this seed set.
Here we go, wassailing to find the Fiend of Air.
And that is not who we're looking for in Dr. Luge and Balnab.
You know, I always wondered in this game, the elements of the fiends match the elements of the crystals. Are they related to each other or no?
To answer Getku's question, no, no one has checked Seal Cave for the boss yet. No one checked Package. No one checked Giant.
Flurry, finally, the last player to summon the whale.
The Rex Roll hitting up Zot gets through that Dark Knight Cecil. Dusty Griff takes down Dr. Luge, rewarded with a Moon Veil.
Oof, so that's a big strikeout on the lunar subterrane. So Valvalus is hiding in an out-of-the-way spot. She's either in the giant, in the sealed cave, which our runners skipped, or in, oh, where is there still left?
Baron. Yeah, I'm wondering if we end up having, like, the Rat Tail in Cave Bahamut, which leads to the Baron Key, which leads to Valvalis at, like, the Odin spot.
Yeah, we should note that moon veil wasn't what Dusty was looking for, but moon veils are exceptionally rare in the new, so to find one is actually very useful.
Dusty finds the Water Hag in the Wyvern spot, which is an easy boss, just not one we want to find.
Water Hag, I found your weakness. Oh, it's just hit it 3 times.
And there's the Rat Tail from the Wyvern spot, so could still see Baron Key hidden behind it with Valvalis down there.
The very last boss checked in the lunar subterrane has the only useful item.
As Tracker Spady pointed out, if Rat Tail does not lead to Baron Key, the moon is officially haunted.
We are starting to get low on the boss spots, so it's going to be truly unlucky if we have to check them all. Yeah, you gotta love the. This is gonna be the new meme because with objectives like this where you have to search for bosses, instead of 17 out of 17 key items, it's more like 36 out of 36 bosses, however many there are.
So right now we're down to what? Baron Castle, Odin Spot, behind Package, and the two bosses in the Giant, and the boss in Sealed Caves. Those are the only spots I'm thinking we haven't seen.
Well, nobody's beaten Baigen yet as well.
And doesn't look like they're going to need to, because the Rat Tail does indeed turn in for the Baron Key.
Well, everything is now open, so this is up to Dusty Griff to select the right option here. Baron is a good choice, I think, because it's faster than Giant, or at least I feel like it's faster, and it has two checks, just like Giant does, except they're much easier bosses, so...
In the meantime, we see PK4787 just now going down into the subterranean. Flurry is picking up their Fusuya, about to go down into the subterranean. Rexroll is heading down into Cave Ebland to go find Mylon Z. And Dusty going into Baron.
It's going to be interesting if PK doesn't go all the way to the bottom and checks Wyvern first. I wonder if you were in this situation and you found the Rat Tail at Wyvern, do you nope out of here and check it? Or do you try to clear the whole underground first?
I think I cleaned the whole underground just because it's more of a boss hunt than a key item hunt.
That's true. The math is on your side for the moon, but not tonight, it seems like.
So Dusty is Sudi Ashura in the first spot in Baron Castle. Let's see who's sitting on the throne. Oh, we have an evil wall on the throne today.
Now this is interesting. Flurry did not defeat Bahamut, just reset out. Said, that's not the boss I need, I'm just going to reset. That's a little risky because right now Flurry doesn't know if the Baron Key is behind one of these bosses. And of course it kind of is through the Rat Tail.
True, but we'll find out shortly if that's going to be the required play or not, as Dusty takes care of the evil wall. It's about to more likely head to the Odin spot straight away.
This would be a super Galaxy Brain play if Baron Castle's not required and Flurry actually saves time by resetting out of these bosses. Well, now, I won't say that Legend Sword's useless either, because we do have multiple Cecils in the party. Excalibur would not be unwelcome right now. I think it's worth the time that it would take to go down and forge it.
I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't Valvalis down here, if that's what Dusty does. But if it is Valvalis, I could probably see him going straight for Zeromus. So Giant or Luca or Package? Where is your guess?
Wow, so the moon was officially a waste of time. The Giant has 2 bosses, so I'm gonna say it's Giant.
Well, Dusty immediately heading down to Luca, so we'll get that check first. Baron, Odin's spot was the Kaipo guards, I believe.
Yeah, so there's only 4 boss positions left. Dusty here going to Sealed Cave, which is just a single check. I don't know. I would have gone with the Giant just because you have more possibilities. Although to see the second possibility, you have to beat the first one. So.
Well, I like how if you already have the item, it just goes ahead and starts the boss fight immediately.
Oh no, it's Mom Bomb. Get out of there, Dusty. All right.
So we're back down to Giant or Package.
If Valvalis is a package, this will be the most troll seed I've seen in quite a while.
Groundfire, that would be Valvalis Skunk who rolled this wonderful troll of a seed for us tonight.
Yeah, chat is right. I believe Dusty wants to make sure he's got all the tools he needs. So once he goes in Giant, he's not coming out. Yeah, I guess we should mention the new shop flags. Because the way the weighting works, Cocal Shop is going to be usually very lucrative. It's the most heavily weighted shop in the game.
It looks like Dusty is going to head to Giant of Babel.
Low-key the best dungeon music in this game.
In the meantime, we see PK heading down to the Lunar Sun terrain, about to take out the bosses down there. We have Flurry, who just came back from the moon. He's heading over. Looks like they're going to head down and check the Sealed Cave, and Rexroll is checking the Sealed Cave as we speak.
Yeah, the only good thing for Rex and PK now is although they are a bit behind, the fact that Dusty and Flurry have basically had to check everywhere means they're not as far behind as it appears, because everybody's basically checking everything.
And we've got the Note Noodle himself, Ogopogo, as the first boss in Giant, the element spot.
That's really gross to have at Elements.
All I know is if he's here, I'm hoping Valvalis is at the second spot, because that would be so bad to have to go through this just to find nothing.
Chat, what do you think? Giant 2 or package? Giant 2 or package?
I think I desperately want it to be packaged, but in my heart of hearts, I'm pretty sure it's Giant 2. Odin was in the second spot in Baron Inn, so we found him early on. Everybody else, all the ones we need to defeat have been found. Elements and Rubicante were on Ordeals. Kanazo was in the Fey March. Mylon and Friends was in the Waterfall. Mylon Z was in the Hook Route.
Oh, we see Rex also going to Giants. This could be really good for Rex, actually.
It could be, and Flurry is going to go check the package, so we'll know shortly one way or another.
Get cooped, I agree on the Holy Sword sound effects. Low-key one of the best sound effects in the early Final Fantasy games, in my opinion, especially the critical hits. Choo choo! That traitor Kane is back to his ways, burning down Miss Village.
And there we are, Giant 2 has Valvalis.
Fiend of Air at Giant 2.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this spot has a low enough magic power that magic spells should get through.
Yeah, but once he gets through this Kanazo fight, it's going to be very quick for him to go down and get Kanazo, get the crystal, get on rolling, because Dusty, out of all the players, is the one who's the most ready for Zeromus. And with this glimpse at the Kaipo Inn, we will have seen every single boss in this seed.
So I think Flurry seeing the bad news with the Dark MC Kaipo, knowing that Giant's the way we have to go.
And there was another Fusoya in the Giant.
So at this point, Dusty's going to be heading back down to the Fey March to take care of his Kanazo. Rex is just now starting to fight with Ogopogo. PK is boss hunting still in the Lunar Subterrane. And Flurry just now entering the giant.
I think Flurry's going to have an easier time with Ogopogo and Valvolus than Rex is going to, though.
Yeah, I know Flurry's going to have the better levels and should be more well prepared for the fight. So I fully expect Dusty to just wipe the floor with Kanazo with the levels and all the grinding he's already done.
Yeah, and he had 10 key items for some of that moon too, so that helps a lot. Oh, Flurry straight up throwing the spoon at Ogopogo.
I think Flurry's had just about enough of the trolls of the sea. He's getting a little agitated at it. Barely.
Crystal Get.
That means Dusty Grift is officially in go mode.
Man, Flurry's getting a little unlucky here on Ogopogo.
In the meantime, Dusty's not even going to go grind anymore. He's ready to go to Zeromus. So it's about that time. I believe we have a question we usually ask this time of night.
Yeah, I usually mess it up though. It's like, what person's posterior are we eliminating?
I see all the Z flags flying out in chat as we ask, whose butt are we kicking tonight?
Yes, the fan favorites, all of the custom Aroma sprites put into the game by our own Scala Kitty.
Say Rex Roll in the meantime has made it through Ogopogo. He's tinting up, about to find out the good news that he's on the right track.
Batty1 asking in chat if the Adamant Armor bug applies in Free Enterprise. Yes, it does, although it's not going to matter too much because Zeromus doesn't use any elemental attacks. His true form emerges.
It's everybody's favorite final boss, Mom.
Oh no. For those who are unaware, that's Cooking Mama from the popular series of games for the Nintendo 3DS. Hidden my game. Wow. It is not Cooking Mama.
Does look like Dusty's doing about 5,000 damage with Cecil, 3,000 with Edge, and 3,000 with Kane, so he should be able to power his way through this pretty easily. Meanwhile, Rex finishes the Valvalis fight, gets his crystal. We'll see if he heads towards Aromas or decides to go grind a little bit.
Scala giving us the deep lore on Hidden My Game. So it's actually a game about evading parental responsibility, huh?
And Flurry finally getting through Ogo Pogo after a couple different tries at it.
Yeah, Dusty is melting the HP here.
And with that, we see a flash, and Dusty has come in first place. The time, I believe, of 1:41:37.
Looks like we're going to get Dusty in here for an interview here shortly.
To answer a kind of nerdy housewife's question, Valvalis was at the CPU spot in Giant.
We are now joined by Dusty Griff. Congratulations on the first place finish, Dusty. And how'd you feel about this one?
Thank you. And it was pretty interesting when you see every single boss in the game, except one. I don't know who that packaged boss was, but yeah, that was quite a ride. I'm pretty surprised I'll know the first on that one, considering how much I had to complete. But I guess a lot of other people probably routed similarly. So yeah, overall, pretty happy with it.
Yeah, a lot of people went up to the lunar subterrane, was doing straight boss hunts instead of clearing the bosses right away, which kind of helped you out and give you a little bit of a lead, as they had to go back to find key items, knowing when to do the giant and check to see if Valvalis was there. So
yeah, exactly. My logic there was the only thing I had open was that Baron key, which was annoying because that was the only thing that was hiding bosses on me other than Giant and the other spots that I could already access. So I was like, well, I'm up here. The only boss I didn't want to fight was that Pygon at Bahamut, because I was like, that's going to be nasty. So I'll just avoid that. Nope, that's nothing.
Just to sate your curiosity, the last boss that you didn't get to see, Flurry actually showed it to us. It was Dark Imps.
Oh, gotcha.
So once you had all of the world map open to you, what was kind of your thinking? Was it just, I need to find the most bosses possible, so I'm going to the moon? Or, how did you think through?
It's a bit of a mix of, I need some levels. Some of my routing was a little weird. Most of it I'm happy with, but I made a couple of, I don't know, I misread it a little bit in terms of I would start doing one thing and be like, no, this is a better idea. Like I started going Underworld at one point. I was like, no, I actually want to check the moon to see who the character is. Because I did want to do Dwarf Castle fairly early to get those 2 boss checks. And I wanted someone to have warp so I could do the warp glitch at the same time. And at the time I didn't have anyone, so I had to kind of go up there, get food, come back down, do Dwarf Castle, complete some other things after that. And then at the point where I had, I can't remember, I think it was 2 foos, and the moon was pretty well open, and I had the party that I was happy with. I kind of said, yeah, we can go to the moon, do a couple siren fights, and that's going to be enough to get us through the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think something that really helped you was waiting on Kanazo. A lot of the other players fought Kanazo much earlier and took a lot longer as a result.
Yeah, the great thing about these Fiends flags, as well as any other sort of boss hunt flags, is that once you know where the boss is, that's a powerful piece of information that you can use to your advantage. The only thing it holds is really if it holds a key item that you need. But if it's something like Kanizo at Leviathan spot, I'm going to put that off pretty much until the latest that I can.
Yeah, you got lucky with this seed finding the hook in the tower and actually seeing one of the bosses you need being sent to the hook route. So it kind of gave you the information there. Oh, there I need to go.
Yeah, very, very much. Yeah, that was very helpful.
Cool. Well, congratulations again, Dusty. Actually, your closest competitor on the feature, Flurry, is just now entering the Zeromus fight, or Rex is in the Zeromus fight as well. So you were. I won't say you were 100% safe, but you were pretty safe.
Yeah, I felt like there was only a couple fights that I felt like, oh, this could go south pretty quick in this one. But with the flags, with T. Wildish, and all the gear we got, as well as double foo, anytime you can get double foo Soya, most of the seed's going to be pretty speedy if you're pretty comfortable in terms of giving up looting chests fairly early and just continuing on.
Well, you did a great job of it again. GG's on the first place finish. Do you have any final thoughts on the seed? Anything on your mind?
That's it. Thank you both for commentating, and thank you, Valvalis, for restreaming this one, and appreciate y'all. And yeah, GG's to all the racers.
Cool. And while we were doing that interview, Dia has finished in second place. I'm not going to say the time because we had a bit of trouble with the race bot. I'm pretty sure the time is wrong, but GG's to Dia on that second place. And we can see that Rex doing the boss hunt rather than actually fighting on the moon and finding if they had key items or not has actually come in extremely handy here.
Yeah, they were able to get into the fight first and already in medio phase, so in very, very good shape here.
There we go. That's a third place finish for Rex Raul with a time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and roughly 20 seconds.
GG's to him. We'll see if we can get him in here for an interview. Meanwhile, Flurry is just making short work of this mom fight. Wouldn't be surprised to see him finishing up here in the next few minutes.
PK getting that, finally getting through the giant as well. So here we go. That this has ended up pretty well.
And we are now joined, I believe, by Rex Roll. GG's Rex. Congratulations on your third place finish.
Thank you. Yeah, felt pretty good about that one.
So, what was going through your mind once you realized you were literally going to have fought almost every boss?
Well, I mean, every boss except the moon, I didn't go up there. My plan was just, I had the pass, so I figured I'd rather not end on the moon. So that was kind of my thought.
Well, it worked out for you because the moon was completely and utterly haunted in this seed. Everything you needed Darkness Crystal for the giant, but other than that, everything you needed was on the overworld.
Yeah, I got lucky in that regard by going to by sticking to my guns and going to the moon, or going to the giant first, and sticking through it despite seeing Ogopogo in that first spot. But yeah. No, I felt even more confident because something happened in my Discord, stopped scrolling, so I didn't see Dusty's finish, and so I thought I was in line for first place, but I'll take 7 minutes behind Dusty. That seems really good.
Yeah, it was a very good race altogether, and you did a great job routing it and going through the progressions and finding everything.
Yeah, and I felt good like that. I know that Kainazo in the Odin spot can be a tough one. I was glad that I was able to defeat that on my first try. I just had to reset out of the Ogopogo fight once to reset because I didn't know I was going into it, so I had to reset my party and make sure it was ready. But I mean, I think those were the two most difficult fights throughout here, yeah, I think I handled them well. I think where I need to improve still is seeing exactly what I need to buy and how many chests I have to open, because I was still like looting Dwarf Castle and stuff, and I think I could save time there.
Well, I'll say this, you were the first of our featured runners to actually attempt that Kanazo, and you did a great job getting through it. We were very impressed.
Yeah, I figured use the Cursed Ring and Battle Speed 6 to make it as slow as possible, and it worked out. I was able to, I think I stopped every single big wave, so if you can manage that, then Kainazo's a lot easier.
That's for sure. And that was a very masterful Kanazo fight. You were the earliest of the features runners to actually try the fight, and you're the only one who tried it at such a low level. So it was definitely very, very masterful.
Yeah, well, I'll take masterful any day.
Well, GG's again on the third place. Do you have any other final thoughts on the seed?
No, it was, well, actually, the one thing that was really fun to see was the alternate gauntlet. I was just glad that I had an AoE item to hit those tofus, because otherwise I don't know what I'd do against that one there. So, but I was excited to see that in action, and since it happened on my stream, I know it's on the restream, and so that's great.
Well, again, GG's in third place. Thank you so much for allowing us to restream you. It's always been a pleasure to watch your race.
Thank you, and thanks to everybody on the restream team making this possible tonight, and hope you all have a good night.
In the meantime, we've had a couple other finishers. Flurry actually finished here in 4th place. We'll see if we can pull him in shortly. And Poydrak has finished in 5th place. And I believe we're now joined by Flurry. GG's, and congratulations on 4th.
Thank you very much. That was an interesting seed.
Yeah, I know the moon had to have been a little heartbreaking for you when you checked Baron and it was a wash.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely certain like how to meta out boss checks like efficiently. At the time that I went to the moon, the only transitional item I had left that would lead to a boss item was Baron. I was pretty sure that the first fight wasn't Val. I thought it was Ashura. You probably caught me checking it anyway, just to be sure. But, so I thought it was safe to kind of bin that one, and it just became, did I guess correctly? And unfortunately, the moon was very much haunted. I got suckered in by the free 300k XP with the Baron guards that I totally didn't need, but I can't say no to that. But otherwise, like I guess definitely gonna have to go back and watch this VOD because I would like to see how much everybody else skipped. 9 minutes behind Dusty isn't too bad, and I wasn't that far behind everybody else, but I kind of went along the lines of, even though I got Magma Key, like just do key items, like always be fighting bosses, and there was a lot of stuff. You could have skipped Harp, you could have skipped Zot, and it would have been fine.
Yeah. Dusty ended up doing a small mini grind and got a little bit of levels, which enabled him to leapfrog past you. But you and him were neck and neck for most of this race.
Yeah, I ended up doing a little bit of a grind on Bahamut because I was making the bet that Val was on the moon. So I figured, all right, if Val is actually on the moon, I'm probably gonna have to fight through the. I mean, I could go with. I had a spoon, I think, and I was planning on darting, but I could go through, deal with jumping, or just try to fight through the tornado. So I was like, all right, if that's it, let's get up to like low 40s. The Val fight would push me to Z, and that'd be that. Ended up not really needing it. It was useful for our good friend who was sitting at the element spot. But otherwise, yeah, that's probably where he pulled ahead. But yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, the basic difference between you and Rex was Rex made the opposite gamble and was not even trying to get the Baron key. He basically went up, and if it wasn't Valvalis, he was resetting.
Yeah, I think I just took. So was he doing that like all the way through?
No, he was. That's what he did on the moon, though.
Okay, I mean that's kind of what I did on the moon. I only took one boss fight. That's only because it was 300k XP. But otherwise, it wasn't too slow, I don't think.
Yeah, I saw you down in the Feymarch when you saw Kanazo. You kind of walked in a no pattern, just rather upset about seeing him in the Leviathan spot.
Yeah, that was at that point. There's like two spots where Kanazo was really gonna be annoying, and it would have been in the element spot and there. And I wasn't sure if it was worth trying to take the fight and fail it and then have to come back, thinking, all right, Val's going to be somewhere. I'll probably have a whole lot of experience. He can do it then. But I was actually very happy with being able to pull off that fight.
Yeah, it was a well done fight, and it was a well done routing for the most part all through the seed. As I said, you just kind of got jumped by Dusty's little mini grind. And otherwise, you were neck and neck all the way through the seed.
All right, good to know. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you for letting us restream. Any final thoughts on the seed?
No, I'm pretty happy that after hundreds and hundreds of races that this beta has brought in an entirely different meta to kind of grind and figure out what to do. So that's pretty exciting, and appreciate you guys taking the time to do commentary and restreaming and all that. And have a good night.
Thank you, Florian. GG, see you as well. In the meantime, while we were talking to Florian, we did have a couple other finishes. Dragus finished in 6th place, and our final restreamed runner, PK4787, finished in 7th. So we're going to see if we can't get him in for an interview shortly. And we're now joined by PK4787. GG's and congratulations on 7th place.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Wonderful. Did you enjoy the music?
Yes, we did. It was wonderful. So you had a good routing and pretty good race overall. You were right up neck and neck with most of the other runners for pretty much the entire race.
Yeah. it was one of those where it felt pretty linear, and then you get to the moon, and you're kind of like, I don't know what fights I should pick and what fights I shouldn't, because I still needed the Baron key to like ensure I could make all the checks when I came back. And I tried to just one turn the Bahamut fight, and that didn't work. So I was just like, whatever. If that's what I need, then I'll just have to go back and embarrass myself in front of everyone.
Well, I mean, you did a great job going through it, and unfortunately, the moon, in this case, was completely haunted.
Yeah.
Everything you needed was just behind a giant darkness crystal, or else overworld or underworld somewhere.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, if it wasn't going to be one of those checks underneath, then somebody was going to have found it earlier. I figured it wasn't packaged at least, because somebody would have come in way sooner than that.
That's what chat we were discussing in the chat. That's what they said is if it was packaged, someone would have finished already. So most people were betting on Giant, and sure enough, Valhalla hiding in CPU.
Yeah, I thought more people would go up there to get XP early with the Fu, but
you were actually the first one of our restream runners to find Fusuya. A lot of them didn't head up to the moon. You were the first one on the ground as well. So.
It was one of those where I was mad at myself for not taking the Sid, but it was too late for me to run back. So I was like, well, I'll just go check everything else and try to find somebody. Yeah, it was fun. Thanks. First time on a restream. Definitely added to the nervousness, but it was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Well, you did it great. Thank you for letting us restream this. Do you have any final thoughts on the seed?
No, just thanks everybody for putting it on, and try to do better next time.
Well, we look forward to seeing you in further races. I'm sure you're just going to get better and better.
All right, I appreciate it.
Well, everyone, tonight is the time when we thank you all for watching. I got to give another shout out to Gambit017 for being my co-commentator, Valhalla Skunk for restreaming tonight, and Smaped for being our item tracker. Tonight, we are going to be sending you over to Invenerable, who was one of the racers tonight, but had to forfeit due to a spoiler in his chat. So enjoy some more free enterprise over at Invenerable's channel here coming up.
Thank you for hanging out with us, and we appreciate it. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening.